Hi, it's Mary Kay again at Backbone Valley Nursery in beautiful Marble Falls, Texas. Today we're going to talk about starting tomatoes from seed. A lot of people are afraid of how to do this. They don't really know what to do. So today we're going to take the mystery out of it. It's so much fun to watch your own plants grow. You want to start your tomato seeds 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost in the spring. And in central Texas, this is about 8 weeks, would be about mid-January, and we're almost there now. So you want to start getting your supplies together. The things that you will need a flat with cells in it. You can also use egg cartons. You can use Dixie cups, anything, but you have to have drainage, so you have to punch a hole in the bottom of the cups. You need a good soil mix. This is a Light Warrior by Fox Farm. It's a good seed starter mix. It's very porous and well drained, and at the same time holds moisture. It's also sterile. So you want to use a good seed starting mix, not just any old soil. You're going to want to have something to water them with, and you can either get one of these nice little spray nozzles, misters, or you can have a mister bottle like this, because you don't want to disturb the little seeds with a heavy watering breaker or a hose. And we want to have some little stakes that we're going to write on to say when we sowed the seed and what the seed is, so we don't lose track of what we've done. And you can write on these stakes with pencil, you can write on them with a China marker, and both of these you can use a good eraser and take them off and reuse them. So it's a good thing that you can reuse. So I have chosen this Bush Roma Supremo. It is a new variety for me, and I'm anxious to try it because I like to can tomatoes, and this is supposed to be a very good producer. When you look at your seed packet, you will see it will tell you how many days from transplant to fruit. This one is 68 days. That's pretty good for a tomato. Most of the heirlooms are going to be in the 70 to 90 day range, which if you're going to do an heirloom, you want to get them started super early, because it's going to get hot before they're ready to set fruit, and then in the hot temperatures the pollen is not viable and you will have lost your whole crop. So I try and find ones that mature in 70 days, 75 days or less. You're going to have a lot better luck with getting a good crop off before it gets too hot. So I filled this flat, the seedling tray, with the Light Warrior, and then I used my spray nozzle and misted it down until it started draining out the bottom, so it was well moistened. And you can do this a day before, the morning before. You just don't want it really, really saturated when you start to put your seeds in. Many people, I just put usually one seed per cell, but a lot of people, in case you're wondering about your germination rate on your seed that you're using, you might try 2, because you don't want a lot of empty cells. So let's say 2 seeds per cell. After they come up, and you can tell that one is doing a whole lot better than the other, you just get some scissors and snip off the weaker one at the soil line, so you only have 1 plant per cell. It's going to take about 5 to 6 weeks to get these up to a transplantable size. I usually take this size and put it into a 1-gallon pot at that time, and grow them outside when the weather is warm, and bring them in if it's going to be cool at night. That way, by the time you put them out in the garden around the middle of March, you'll have a much larger plant, often with blooms on it. So this is a way to get a head start on your tomatoes. So here are my seeds. They're very, very tiny. Some of them are very, like these, you can see there's only maybe 10 seeds in there. They're very expensive seeds. So maybe in these I will put just 1 per cell. So I'm going to put 1 in the middle of each cell. And tomato seeds do not need light to germinate. So we're going to cover them with about 1/4 inch of this Light Warrior seed mixture. And then we're going to water it in. While they don't need light, they do need warmth. Look at that. There are exactly 10 seeds in here. So I'm going to get my marker for the Supremo Roma, and it's going to go right here, and that shows that I have these 2 going. The next one that I would like to do is called Chocolate Cherry. This is a pole tomato, Again, it's 70 days from transplant to harvest, not seeding to harvest. You're going to be about 5 to 6 weeks in the seedling flat, and then you're going to transplant it either into the garden or into a pot, a 1-gallon pot. So at this time, I'm just going to show you what we're going to do here. I'm going to get a little bit of soil and lightly sprinkle it. Do 1/4 of an inch on top of this, and then I'll get a mister in just a second, and I'll show you how we mist them in. You notice this is on a dark mat right here. It's a rubber mat. It's called a Seedling Heat Mat. These can be purchased. They have a thermostat that you put into the soil. You can set the thermostat for 70 to 75 degrees, and it's going to make your tomato seeds germinate much more rapidly. And once they're up, you don't need the heat mat anymore. You can take them out and you can put it under the light. I like to use this artificial light. Sunny windows aren't often the best place to put your seedlings because our new homes have glass with a low E factor in them. The right amount of light doesn't come through. So when you have something like this, it's nice to be able to position it and move it, in this case 2 to 6 inches above the top of the seeds. Now this is after the seeds have already germinated. If you do not have a heat mat, you can put it on top of your refrigerator. That's going to be warm up there. You can either put it in a plastic bag to keep the moisture in, or just check the moisture daily. You can use this spray bottle every day if you need to keep it moist. Never let this seed flat, never let this soil dry out, or because your seeds could send down the radicle or first root. It dries out, it will dry up, and then you won't have your plant. So check it daily if you put it on top of the refrigerator. If it's on a heat mat, check it daily. Don't let this seed flat dry out. Once the babies are up, you can put it under an artificial light. It's probably the best for 14 to 16 hours a day. You can put it on a timer or just turn it on and off on your own. Okay, I have my mister nozzle here. I have it turned on very low. I don't want to blow all that new soil out of the cells. I'm going to fill it up, and you can see I have this nice cutoff on it. Turn it off, and I'm going to let it sink in. Once it sinks in, I'll turn it back on, water it again, let it sink in, water it again. You want to water well when you do water, and then feel the top of the soil every day. You can pretty much tell by looking at it, but you never want to let it dry out. So this new soil, the 1/4 inch that I put on top, needs to be moistened, and all this needs to be kept moist until the little seedlings are up. I hope this helps. I'm glad that you tuned in, and I wish you luck growing your own seeds. This is Mary Kay from Backbone Valley Nursery.